All right. Hi, this is Tim Kovar again. We're looking at our InDesign tutorials. This time we're going to be doing an exhibition poster. Nice thing about that is it's a way of practicing the combining of text and images for paper output. Okay. When we go to do photo books, that's going to be a multi-page layout. We're going to have larger document to manage. An exhibition poster is a one-page layout. You can use one image, you can use 20 images, but you're coming up with a way of designing a presentation of information that conveys what you need it to. In this case, wow, aren't my pictures really good? Where can you go and see them? This is where my exhibition is. All right. So first thing you're going to do, of course, is do a Google image search for photographic exhibition posters and look at hundreds of different examples. Okay. You've also got examples all around every day, walking around town. You'll see plenty. All right. So the poster project is a great way of going through working method with InDesign. And so to start with, you want to make a job folder. Okay. In this case, I've called mine Kovar Exhibition Poster. And you can see that I've got a folder inside that called Exhibition Poster Images, and a whole bunch of InDesign files where I tried out lots of different things. Okay. But notice also that my file names are Kovar-TreePoster01, Kovar-TreePoster02. Okay. The advantage of that is that when you take a file to a printer for output, if you have your name in the file name, they don't have to worry about whose file that is. Oh, whose tree poster was this? Okay. They can spot it. They know whose it is. If there's a problem, they can ring you. So I always put my name in the file name of the document. Include a folder to place your images. Okay. These images are TIFFs. Remember, we're working on 300 dots per inch resolution. Put them in the color space of Adobe RGB 1998. And keeping all your images consistent means you're going to get consistent output. Okay. All right. So as you can see, I've worked out a number of these different designs. And that first one I did, trying to use this image of the trees. And I noticed that I like the dark diagonals of the tree trunks sticking up the top left and bottom right. So I decided, oh, let me use my type and place that top left and bottom right to keep that kind of dynamic of the diagonal going through there. Okay. So the title is on top to give it priority. It's a larger size, type size. Okay. And it's left justified to line up with the left edge of the picture. Okay. Bottom right, it's right justified or right aligned. You can look in the paragraph palette, or if you click on the type tool and select that box, you can see that in the contextual menu you've got a range of alignment options. Okay, wouldn't make any sense at all to have the box on the bottom right and have the type aligned in the center of that box. Alright, so I want to have all that type right aligned, but too much white space on this design, I don't really like it. Okay, so I said, wait a minute, what if I make the picture bigger? Turn the design from a portrait format, vertical, to a landscape format, horizontal. Make the picture bigger, give it more space, more dominance. And then the type is still top left, bottom right the same way. But yeah, that's still not grabbing me. So the last one I came up with that I liked the best, fill the page with the image. The point of that image to me is trees all around you, leaves all around you, the play of colors and light through the green. Okay, so why not have it fill up the whole page? Problem you have, particularly with a busy image like this, is keeping your type legible when you're running it across a busy image. So we'll look at a couple of different ways of doing that. All right, so first things first, we're going to recreate this file. We're going to go into the File menu. We're going to New Document. Okay. I'm not doing a business card. I really should change that preset. So we're doing an A3 size page. Okay. The intent is print. The width of A3, the size of A3 is 297 by 420 millimeters. Okay. Always work in metric for this stuff. All right. That's what our printers use. So that's what the page sizes come in. Okay. I want it to be landscape format, so it's going to swap to 420 by 297. The margins in this case don't really matter to me because I'm not worried about lining things up near the edge of the page. So I'll show you why. All right. Now, but what does matter is the bleed. Okay. So if you can't see this little panel at the bottom that says bleed, look at the box here that says more options and click that, and it'll give you bleed and slug. Okay. Bleed is the amount that your image needs to run off the edge of the page so that it doesn't get clipped as the paper goes through the printer. Okay, and our bleed is always going to be 3 millimeters. All right, so if you enter 3 on the first one and hit the tab key, it should fill in 3 millimeters all the way around, and that'll get you going. Okay, so document setup, I hit OK. All right, once again, the red line, the outside line, is the bleed line. The black line is the edge of the page. This magenta line is the margin, and we could turn that off, so I'm not going to use it. All right. Okay. So before I go anywhere, I'm going to save my document. Save as you go along. All right. So we'll call this Kovar Poster Trees Test, just so I know which one it is. Okay, it's not going in my Joe Photo letterhead. That was the video a little while ago. So let's click into the exhibition poster and into the Kovar exhibition poster folder, where all the rest of these are. Okay, so we save it. Never go anywhere. Never make one change, 2 changes without saving your document. Save as you go along. Okay. First thing I want to do is place that image on the page. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to grab the rectangular frame tool, which has the X through the middle of it. Okay. And I'm going to start from the top left corner where the little red bleed lines are, and I'm going to click and drag all the way down to the bottom right. Okay. Ta-da! X through the middle shows me I've got an image which is going to fill the whole page. Not only fill the page, but it's going to extend beyond the edge of the page. Okay. If I look at my measurements, and remember, check these registration points, reference points I think they call them, not registration. It's -3 on the X measurement, 3 millimeters outside, -3 on the Y measurement, 3 millimeters above the top of the page. Okay. It's also going to extend 3 millimeters out and down, so that means that it's 6 millimeters all the way around, bigger than the actual paper size. Okay. Now I want to place an image inside that box. Okay. It's not like Microsoft Word where you just stick a picture in the document. Here we have to make a box to hold that content, and then place the content in the box. So I go into File and Place, or Command D. Alright, and because this is the last place I was, it takes me back to my exhibition poster folder. And I want to put my leaves overhead. Double click on that. I hate it when it does that. It's waiting for me to place that inside. Oh, I didn't have my box selected, so it doesn't know where it's supposed to go. So if I click in there, it's going to drop that picture inside it. Okay. Now you notice that my picture didn't come in at full size. Right? That's because that image is a bit small to run at full bleed A3, but I'm confident that when this goes to output, I'm going to get the kind of quality that I need. All right. So I need to make it fill that box. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on not the black selection tool, but the white selection tool. They call it the direct selection tool. Okay. The black selection tool controls the box. The white selection tool controls the contents of the box. So when I click on that image, I get a little brown line around the outside edge, and the handles move from being out here on the box to being here on the image. So now I'm going to drag that image larger, but what I want to do is make sure I keep my proportions consistent. So I'm going to hold the Shift key down while I do that, and that'll keep my proportions the same. And I'm going to draw it out until it lines up with that bleed line on the outside of the page. Okay, so now my image is slightly larger than the box. So if I want to, I can click and drag it, or I can use the arrow keys to move it around and position it just the way I want it to be. So you're essentially cropping your image based on what's visible through the picture box that you've drawn. Okay, so what I want is just a little bit more of the tree trunks down here at the bottom, so it's hanging off a little bit at the top and the bottom of the page. Alright, save it. This is a pretty long project, so I've split it into 3 separate videos. You can go on to the next section and see how the design progresses. We'll keep going forward. And this is Tim. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.